Do you have trouble focusing? Do you forget appointments and easily lose track of time? Then you may have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, otherwise known as ADHD. Adult ADHD, like its childhood counterpart, can take on many forms. As a result, some signs and symptoms might seem counterintuitive or completely random. For example, did you know that things like overspending or paying bills late can be signs of ADHD? Each of these signs by themselves isn't necessarily a reason for panic, but combined with other symptoms, they could be an indicator of a deeper issue. To make things even more complicated, ADHD can occur with other conditions that have similar symptoms, so it can be difficult to diagnose. Keep watching so you can recognize the signs and symptoms of ADHD. Number 1. Lack of focus and hyperfocus. The most well-known sign of ADHD is a lack of focus, but this can look different for everyone. It's not just having a hard time paying attention. It can also include being easily distracted, difficulty concentrating during conversations, overlooking details, and not completing tasks or projects. On the other hand, there's also hyperfocus. This is when someone with ADHD becomes so consumed with what they're doing that the rest of the world just seems to fade away. This may seem like a good thing, but usually, whatever they're locked in on isn't what they should be focused on. As you can imagine, this makes it easy to lose track of time and forget about those around you, and this can lead to relationship issues. Number 2, difficulty with organization and task completion. No matter how hard they try, adults with ADHD just can't seem to get organized enough to get things done. They've got to-do lists on paper, on their phones, and their laptops. They use reminders and calendar notifications, but things still seem to get missed. It's exhausting, and they feel defeated each time they forget something. Difficulties with organization and completing tasks are related to a problem with executive functioning in the brain. This is essentially the process of prioritizing work that needs to be done and can result in more than just poor organizational skills. It can include chronic procrastination and difficulty getting projects started, as well as working on multiple things, but not doing any of them particularly well. Socially, this also impacts relationships, since people with ADHD have trouble fulfilling promises, commitments, or deadlines because they're frequently and abruptly changing plans. Number 3, time management concerns. Just like they find it difficult to organize tasks and projects, adults with ADHD struggle to manage their time effectively. Additionally, people with ADHD can have what's known as time blindness. This means they're chronically late to things. Sure, it might sound like an excuse, and no, they're not actually blind to time, but they do have difficulty prioritizing or anticipating how much time a task will take. Number 4, forgetfulness. Everyone forgets things, but for those with ADHD, it can affect their responsibilities, such as career or academics, and their relationships. This can include constantly misplacing things or forgetting important dates and deadlines. If not familiar with the signs and symptoms of ADHD, it could easily be mistaken for carelessness or lack of intelligence. However, it's more likely a short-term memory deficit, and people with ADHD can really struggle with this. They often forget things quickly or only remember them when it's already too late. Number 5, impulsivity. Impulsivity can take on many forms, including interrupting others during conversations, being socially inappropriate, rushing through tasks, and acting without considering the consequences. Another common example of impulsivity in adults with ADHD is impulse buying. Even though they might not need it or be able to afford it, they may buy something without a second thought. Number 6, negative self-image. With forgetting things all the time and struggling to stay on task or to get organized, it's easy for those with ADHD to feel like a failure. They start seeing themselves in a negative light because they're already hyper-aware of all their shortcomings. Since they have trouble concentrating and it seems like their school, work, and personal relationships are suffering, it's hard to see any good because all the bad is amplified. They become fixated on their failures and underachievement, and this negative self-image doesn't make the situation any better. If anything, it likely exacerbates all the other related symptoms, because when you feel crummy about yourself, everything else feels less meaningful as well. Number 7, emotional concerns. Life with ADHD can feel like an emotional roller coaster, shifting in and out of depression, moodiness, and irritability. For those with ADHD, in a moment, they can find themselves bored out of their mind, so they seek out some form of excitement, only to later find out that what they thought would bring fulfillment was fleeting, and before they know it, they're bored again. Another concern is emotional regulation. While neurotypical people might be able to pause and reflect before responding to some sort of negative stimuli, it isn't something that people with ADHD do particularly well. This is also related to impulsivity and can have undesirable social consequences, since it can lead to saying something they might regret later. Number 8. Restlessness and anxiety. Adults with ADHD find it difficult to shut off that need to keep going and going, and this can become frustrating when they're not able to do something right away. This results in restlessness and, in turn, anxiety. The behaviors associated with restlessness in adults are similar to those with children with ADHD. They may move around frequently, tap their hands or feet, shift in their seat, or find it challenging to sit still. So yes, while it is annoying when that person sitting across from you in a meeting keeps clicking their pen, despite everyone's dirty looks, be kind. You never know what someone might be dealing with. Number 9. Fatigue. This is one of those signs that almost seem counterintuitive, since restlessness is also a symptom. However, those with ADHD often struggle with fatigue. If you think about it, it makes sense. The hyperactivity, sleep disruptions, and additional energy required to focus would make anyone tired. On top of that, fatigue is a common side effect of many ADHD medications. This creates a vicious, repeating cycle because exhaustion worsens attention. As we've seen, ADHD can wreak havoc on your professional life, relationships, and personal well-being. It can take a toll on your self-worth and cause unnecessary inner frustration, as well as friction with others. It's important not to self-diagnose, but now that you know some of the signs and symptoms to look out for, you can seek professional help if you need it. Treatment options typically involve medication and cognitive behavioral therapy to help you manage the symptoms and learn better ways to cope. What do you think? Did any of these raise any red flags for you? Do you have any tips to share with others who might have ADHD? Share in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends so we can keep making them. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and remember to click on the notification bell. Also, be sure to check out our other videos as well. Thanks for watching.